Hello students and good morning to you all. So today I am doing class 10. Today's topic is ratio and proportion. This is the new topic. Today I am going to start, that is ratio and proportion, right? So in the last class we finished the topic on sorts. So till now we have finished quadratic equation, how to solve a quadratic equation, theory of quadratic equation, simple interest, compound interest, uniform rate of growth and sorts. So today we will start the new topic, that is ratio and proportion. So first of all, what do you mean by ratio, right? So ratio means a fraction. Suppose if you write A upon B, right? This A is known as the numerator. This A is the numerator. This A is known as the numerator and B is known as the denominator. Right? Or this numerator is also known as the antecedent. This numerator is known as the antecedent. A-N-T-E-C-E, antecedent. A-N-T-E-C-E-D-N-T, antecedent, divided by this denominator is also known as consequent. This denominator is also known as consequent. That is antecedent divided by consequent, right? So now this fraction can be written in terms of ratio, that is A is to B. So you know that A is known as the antecedent and B is known as what? This is known as the consequent. So this means A is to B, right? So if A is multiplied by 3 times, this B should also be multiplied by 3 times. Okay? So if you multiply A by 3 times, then B should also be multiplied by 3 times. That is, if A is increased by 3 times, B is also increased by 3 times, right? Or it may be, if A is divided by 2, this B should also be divided by 2. If A is divided by 2, this B should also be divided by 2. Or A is to B. If A is multiplied by X, this B should also be multiplied by X, right? So if A is divided by X, this B should also be divided by X. So this type of expression is known as what? Ratio. That is A is to B. Okay? So A is to B. Suppose if you write A is to B is equal to X is to Y. A is to B is equal to X is to Y. Suppose if you write A is to B is equal to X is to Y. That is, A by B is equal to X upon Y. Then what can we say that? Therefore, if you can write A is to B is equal to X is to Y, or A upon B is equal to X upon Y, then we can write that A, comma B, comma X, comma Y are in proportion. Are in what? Proportion, right? That is, if you can write A is to B is equal to X is to Y, then we can say that these 4 numbers, that is A, comma B, comma X, comma Y are in proportion, right? So ratio means A is to B. If A is increased by 3 times, B is also increased by 3 times. That is the ratio A is to B. But if you can write A is to B is equal to another ratio, that is equal to X is to Y. If their ratios are equal, then these 4 numbers A, comma B, comma X, comma Y are in proportion. Okay? So these are all about your ratio and proportion. Okay? Suppose the 3 numbers, if A, comma B, comma C are in proportion. If A, comma B, comma C are in proportion, then what can you write? Then you can write down that A is to B is equal to, again you have to repeat the second term, that is B is to C. right? So if A comma B comma C are in proportion, then what can you write? A is to B is equal to B is to C, or vice versa. That is, if A is to B is equal to B is to C, then what can you write? A comma B comma C are in proportion. So these are all about here. What are ratio and proportions, right? So now, we'll do some problems now from the book GANIT PRAKASH for class 10 from West Bengal Board of Secondary Education. Now let's do some problems from the book, right? So now we will do some problems. So exercise is 5.2. That is, let us see by calculating exercise 5.2, and the page number is 87 from the book GANIT PRAKASH for class 10. So let's do question number 1. Let us find out the value of x for the following proportions, right? So question number 1 is 10 is to 35. This double is to is written here. This double is to means is equal to. If double is to is written out there, then it implies is equal to, right? This double is to means is equal to x is to 42. That is 10 is to 35. This double is to means is equal to x is to 42. That means 10 comma 35 comma x comma 42 are in proportion, right? So this is your given. So let us write down given out here. 10 is to 35 is equal to x is to 42. Okay? Or ratio means fraction. So you can write it in terms of fraction. That is numerator upon denominator, which is equal to x upon, this is your 42. Okay? So you have to get the value for x from this equation, right? So here 10 and 35 can be cancelled. 5 2s are 10, 5 7s are 35. So this is an equation from both the sides in the denominators. We have common out here. 7 1s are 7, 7 6 are 42. So or 2 upon 1 is equal to x upon 6. So now we can do cross multiplication, or so cross multiply 1 into x. X is equal to 2 6 are what? It is 12. That means what is the value for x? So x is equal to 12. So that is your answer. Okay. Now similarly we can do this one number 2. So it is same as problem number 1. You can do it at home. So this is your homework, right? So this is your homework. That is x is to 50. Double is to is there. That means is equal to 3 is to 2. So you can use the same method that we have done in problem number 1. So this is your homework, right? So we'll do the next problem now. So you can copy the homework. You can do it at home. Now we will do question number 2 from the same exercise. So question number 2 is, let us find the fourth proportional of the following. Fourth proportional means you have to find out the fourth number, so that first comma, second comma, third comma, fourth are in proportion, right? So let's do question number 2. So question number 2 is, what is question number 2 here? 9.6 kg, comma 7.6 kg, comma 28.8 kg. That means in this problem you have to find out the fourth proportional. That means the fourth number, so that these four numbers are in proportion, right? So let us assume the fourth proportional be x kg. Let the fourth proportional be x. Since unit is given here kg, you should write x kg, right? So now therefore now you should write 9.6 comma 7.6 comma 28.8 comma X are in proportion. X are in proportion. Are in proportion, right? So 9.6 comma 7.6 comma 28.8 comma X are in proportion. So if these four numbers are in proportion, what can you write? That is the ratio between the first two terms is equal to ratio between the second two terms, right? So what can you write here? Therefore 9.6 is to what? 7.6 is equal to right, 9.6 is to 7 is to 6. That is the ratio between the first two terms is equal to ratio between the next two terms, that is 28.8 is to what? X. So from the definition of ratio and proportion, you can write down that if the given four numbers are in proportion, then you can write down that the ratio between the first two terms will be equal to the ratio between the second two terms. That is, first term is to second term is equal to third term is to fourth term, right? So ratio means you can write it in terms of fraction. So it is 9.6 divided by 7.6 is equal to, so it is here to 28.8 whole divided by X. Okay. So now how can we simplify it further? Now, after decimal point there is one figure here. After decimal point also there is one figure. That means you can cancel this decimal point. You can cancel it, right? So don't write decimal point in the next step. That is what do we get? 96 divided by 76 is equal to 28.8 whole divided by X. Is that clear? So let us simplify it first. 96 divided by 76. By which number can you divide both 96 as well as 76? Let us divide it by 4. So it is 4 2s are 8, 4 4s are 16, right? So it is 4 1s are 4, isn't it? 4 1s are 4, 36, 4 9s are 36, right? So it is 96, 96 like 40 divided by 4 2s are 8, 16, 4 4s are 16, right? And 76 like divided by 4 1s are 4, 36, 4 9s are 36. Is that clear? So you have to write down the remaining terms now here. So what are the remaining terms out here? It is 24 by 19 is equal to 28.8 whole divided by X. Now let's do cross multiplication out here. So 24x is equal to 28.8 into 19, right? It is cross multiplied. 24x is equal to 28.8 into 19. Or what is the value for x now? 28.8 into 19, this whole divided by 24, right? So you can cancel 28.8 by 24, right? So 24 ones are 24, 24 times you have 24 ones are 24.48, 24 twos are that is your 48, isn't it? So now x is equal to, so x is equal to 1.2 into 19, right? So divided by 1. If there is 1 in the denominator, you don't have to write it. Okay? So let us multiply them. So x is equal to 12 nines are what? 108. Then 10. 12 ones are 12 plus 10 is what? It is what? It is 22. Right? So 12 nines are 108. 8. 10 is there. 12 ones are 12 plus 10 is 22. Now, so where will you write down the decimal point here? So after decimal point there is one figure. So before one figure, that is from the last, before one figure from the last, you have to write down the decimal point here. That is, before 8, you should write down the decimal point. So what is the value for x here? It is 22.8. That we had assumed, let the fourth proportional be x kg. That means we have got the fourth proportional. So therefore required fourth proportional, is equal to, what is the answer out here? It is 22.8 kg. So this is the required fourth proportional, so which is equal to 22.8 kg. Is that clear now? So now let us do question number 4. So these are your homework, right? This number 1 you can do it at home, and this number 3 also you can do it at home. So these are your homework. Now let's do question number 4. So you can copy it. You can copy this solution. This is solution for number, which number? 2. Okay. That is the fourth proportional is equal to 22.8 kg. So that is your answer. So you can copy it. So now let's do question number 4. So what is question number 4 here? What is question number 4 here? It is p minus q comma p square minus q square comma p square minus pq plus q square. Right? This is the given question. That is number 4. You have to find out the fourth proportional of this following. Right? You have to find out the fourth proportional of these 3 numbers. यो 3 number को fourth proportional चाहिँ कति हो? So let us assume, let the fourth proportional be x. So in this case, unit is not given. You don't have to write down the unit in this case, right? So let the fourth proportional, be x. We have assumed that the fourth proportional be x. So therefore p minus q comma p square minus q square comma p square minus pq plus q square comma x are in proportion. Are in what? They are in proportion. So what can we write from the definition of proportion? So in the next step we can write down that p minus q is to p square minus q square, p square minus q square is equal to, that is the ratio between the first 2 terms is equal to ratio between the second 2 terms. That is third term is to fourth term. What is the third term out here? P square, right? P square minus pq plus q square is to x. X is the fourth proportional here. So let us find out the value for x. That is the fourth proportional, right? So ratio means you can write it in terms of fraction, okay? Or p minus q divided by p square minus q square, which is equal to, on the right hand side also you can write it in terms of fraction, p square minus pq plus q square, this whole divided by x. Is that clear to all of you? So now let us simplify it further. Let us write down the formula in the denominator. You know p square minus q square, isn't it? That is a square minus b square. So which is equal to a plus b into a minus b. Or this is your p minus q divided by, what is p square minus q square here? It is p plus q into p minus q is equal to p square minus pq plus q square, this whole divided by x, right? So what can you cancel? This p minus q will be cancelled. This is 1, 1. Now you can do, so write down the remaining terms, or 1 upon P plus Q is equal to P square minus PQ plus Q square, this whole divided by X. Is that clear? So now you can do cross multiplication here. That is 1 into X is X is equal to P plus Q into P square minus PQ plus Q square. Is that clear to all of you? So if you cross multiply it, 1 into X is equal to P plus Q into P square minus PQ plus Q square. So or X is equal to, what is the answer out here? So what is the formula for this product? It is just like your A plus B into A square minus AB plus B square, which is A cube plus B cube. What is A cube here? It is P cube plus what is B whole cube? That is Q cube. That is X is equal to P cube plus Q cube. So that is your answer. So what is the required fourth proportional here? It is P cube plus Q cube, right? So therefore required fourth proportional is equal to, this is P cube plus Q cube. So that is your final answer. So these two problems are your homework, right? That is number 1 and number 3. Similarly, you can do it. Okay? So you can copy it. We'll do the next question now. So now we are doing question number 3. Let us find the third proportional of the following positive numbers. You have to find out the third number here, so that first number, comma, second number, comma, third number are in proportion. Okay. So let's do question number 2. Question number 2 is 0.24, comma, 0.6. You have to find out the third proportional, that means third number. Okay, so let the third proportional be X. So let us assume the third proportional as X. That means this is the third number. So therefore 0.24, comma, 0.6, comma, X are in proportion. X are in proportion. Right? So these three numbers are in proportion. So how can you write it? So therefore 0.24 is to 0.6 is equal to. Again you have to repeat this second term for the second ratio. That is 0.6 is to X. So both these ratios are equal. Okay. So now we can write it in terms of fraction, or 0.24 divided by 0.6 is equal to 0.6 whole divided by X. Is that clear? Now let us simplify it. Okay. So now here, after decimal point, how many figures are there? 2 figures. But here after decimal point there is only one figure. So you should make it 2 figures, because in the numerator after decimal point there are 2 figures. So here also you should make, in the denominator also you should make 2 figures after the decimal point. That means you can add 0 here. So 0.6 को पछाडि तिमीले जति सुकै 0 एड गर्दा पनि हुन्छ, 0 लेख्दा पनि हुन्छ. बुझ्यौ? So point को पछाडि यो दुईटा फिगर छ भने यहाँ पनि point को पछाडि हामी दुईटा फिगरै बनाउँछौं. That means हामी एउटा 0 मात्रै त्यहाँ थप्छौं. बुझ्दैछ यो? So now you can cancel this decimal point. So after decimal point there are 2 figures in the numerator, and in the denominator also after decimal point there are 2 figures, right? So you can cancel that decimal point. Okay, so what do we get? 24 divided by 60 is equal to 0.6 divided by x, right? So 24 by 60 can be simplified further. Like 12 lessons. 12 2s are 24, 12 5s are 60. Right? So or 2 upon 5 is equal to 0.6 divided by x. Right? So now cross multiply. So 2x is equal to 0.6 into 5. 2x is equal to 0.6 into 5. Or 2x is equal to, now multiply 0.6 into 5. How much is it? 6 5s are 30. But after decimal point there is only one figure. So here also you have to write down the decimal point, but before only one figure, because after decimal point there is one figure. So you have to write down the decimal point before one figure from the last. That is before 10 you have to write down the decimal point. Right? So after decimal point there is 0, you can cancel it. So after decimal point, if there are zeros, you can cancel them. Right? So what is the value for x here? So x is equal to 3 by 2. Now can you divide 3 by 2 now? So you can write it in terms of decimal. 2 lay 3 lie divided by 2 1s are 2, 1. Let us write down the decimal point. If you write down the decimal point, you can add 0 here. Now 2 5s are 10, right? So cross. So which is what is 3 by 2? It is 1.5. So what is the required third proportional? It is 1.5. So therefore third proportional is equal to, so what is the required third proportional? It is equal to 1.5. So that is your answer. So you can copy it. So now this number 1 is your homework. You can do it. Similarly, you can do question number 1 and question number 3. So 3 is also your homework, right? So you can write down the question. Number 1 is your homework. That is 5, 10. You have to find out its third proportional. And in question number 3 also it is p cube q square comma q square r. Here also you should find out their third proportional. Okay. So I think you have understood this number 2. So let's do question number 4 now. So let's do question number 4. What is question number 4 here? It is given x minus y whole square, comma, x square minus y square whole square, right? So only 2 terms are given, first and second. You have to find out the third proportional. That means you have to get the third number. So that first number, comma, second number, comma, third number are in proportion. Okay? So let the third proportional be, so here we cannot assume x because in the question x is given. Let us assume it as small a, right? Let the third proportional be a for this question number 4. So therefore x minus y whole square, comma, x square minus y square whole square, comma, a are in what? Are in proportion. So they are in proportion. So what can you write? First term is to second term is equal to, you have to repeat the second term. Second term is to third term. So therefore we can write x minus y whole square is to x square minus y square whole square is equal to, now we have to repeat the second term again out here. So it is x square minus y square whole square is to a. Is that clear? So now let us simplify it to get the value for A. So here A is an unknown quantity. So ratio means you can write it in terms of fraction. So let us write it in terms of fraction. So x minus y whole square divided by, isn't it? Divided by x square minus y square whole square, which is equal to, on the right side, so how will you write it? It is x square minus y square whole divided by A. Is that clear? So now let us simplify it. Okay? So, or now cross multiply x minus y whole square. X minus y whole square into A is equal to, so if you cross multiply these two numbers, x square minus y square whole square into x square minus y square whole square, these are the same numbers, isn't it? If you multiply them, powers will be added. So what do we get? It is x square minus y square whole to the power 4. Right? So, or what is the value for A now? Which is equal to x square minus y square whole to the power 4 whole divided by, so this is your x minus y whole square into A. So when this term, that is x minus y whole square, goes to the right hand side, you should write it in the denominator, that is x minus y whole square, right? So now let us simplify it. Or A is equal to, right within second bracket, because you know the formula for x square minus y square, that is a square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b. So it is x plus y into x minus y. Second bracket close, whole square, not whole square, it should be whole to the power 4 divided by x minus y whole square. Is that clear? So let us simplify it. Or A is equal to, now this power 4 is for both these factors, isn't it? This power 4 is for both these factors. So you can write down power 4 for both x plus y as well as x minus y. So that is x plus y whole to the power 4 into x minus y whole to the power 4 whole divided by x minus y whole square. Is that clear? Next, we can simplify x minus y whole to the power 4 divided by x minus y whole square, right? So, or A is equal to, this is x plus y whole to the power 4 into x minus y whole to the power 4 and x minus y whole square. These are known as bases. Bases are equal. So, when this power 2, when this x minus y whole square goes up in the numerator, it becomes whole to the power minus 2. And you can simplify it with x minus y whole to the power 4. So what does it become? X minus y whole to the power 4 minus 2. That is, the powers will be subtracted. That is, x minus y whole to the power 4. When this goes up in the numerator, it becomes 4 minus 2. Right? So, or A is equal to x plus y whole to the power 4 into x minus y whole square. So that is your final answer. So what is the required third proportional? So required third proportional. Therefore required third proportional is equal to, what is the answer? X plus y whole to the power 4 into x minus y whole square. So this is the final answer. That is, required third proportional is equal to x plus y whole to the power 4 into x minus y whole square. Okay. So this number 1 and number 3 are your homework. You can do them similarly. Okay. So you can copy it. We'll do the next problem now. So now We will do question number 4. Let us find the mean proportional of the following positive numbers. Mean proportional bhaneko middle term. That is, these two terms are given. You have to find out the middle term of 5 and 80. You should find out the second term here. Okay? That suppose A, comma, B, comma, C are in proportion. Suppose A, comma, B, comma, C are in proportion. That middle term B is known as the mean proportional of A and C. Is that clear? If A, comma, B, comma, C are in proportion, then the middle one, that is B, is known as the mean proportional of A and C. Is it clear? So let us find out the mean proportional of the following positive numbers. So let's do question number 2 here also. So 8.1 and 2.5, right? So let us find out the mean proportional of 8.1 and 2.5. So let mean proportional of बीचको number, middle one चाहिँ तिमीले निकाल्नु पर्छ. Let the mean proportional be x, right? So therefore 8.1 comma x comma 2.5 are in proportion. So what can I write? Therefore 8.1 is to x is equal to x is to 2.5. That is, you should repeat the second term for both the ratios. That is 8.1 is to x is equal to x is again repeated here, x is to 2.5, right? So let us write it in terms of fraction. 8.1 divided by x is equal to x divided by, it is 2.5. Is it clear to all of you? So now you can do cross multiplication here, or x into x is x square, right? x ले x लाई multiply गर्दा कति हुँदैछ? X square. फेरि अर्को क्रस मल्टिप्लाई गर्दा कति भयो? 8.1 into 2.5. Is that clear? So now let us write this decimal in terms of fraction. You know how to write it in terms of fraction, isn't it? So or x square is equal to 81. Now how will you write it in terms of fraction? So after decimal point, in 8.1, after decimal point there is only one figure. So you should write only 1 0. After decimal point, if there is only one figure, write 1 0. And then write 1, that is 10. Similarly, 2.5. Here also after decimal point there is only one figure, write 1 0 and then write 1. If there are two figures after decimal point, you should write 2 zeros. After decimal point, if there are three figures, you should write 3 zeros and 1. Right? So you have understood this one. Okay? So or what is the value for x is equal to? That means we are taking the square root on both the sides. Root over 81 by 10 into 25 by 10. Right? So you can simplify it further, or x is equal to, you know what is the square root of 81? 9 into what is square root of 25? It is 5. What is the square root of 10 into 10? That is 10 squared, isn't it? That is 100. What is the square root of 100? That is 10. Is that clear? So or x is equal to, or 9 5s are 45 divided by 10. So यसमा 10 ले डिवाइड गर्न एकदमै सजिलो छ. हेर कसरी डिवाइड गर्छु? 10 ले डिवाइड गर्दा फेरि, or x is equal to, so here only 1 0 is there. After 1 there is only 1 0. So you have to write down decimal point before only one figure from the last digit. Okay? So after 1 there is only 1 zeros. So you have to write down decimal point in the numerator before only one figure from the last. यहाँ 1 को पछाडि एउटै 0 छ भने माथि न्युमरेटरमा पनि तिमीले एउटा फिगरको अगाडि मात्रै डेसिमल लेख्नु. लास्ट टर्मदेखिको लिएर एउटा फिगरको अगाडि मात्र हामी डेसिमल लेख्छौँ. द्याट इज कति भयो 5 को अगाडि डेसिमल लेख्छौँ भनेपछि कति भयो 4.5. Is that clear? So what is the required mean proportional here? Therefore required mean proportional is equal to, what is the answer here? It is 4.5. This is the answer. So is that understood? So the mean proportional of 8.1 and 2.5 is, it is 4.5. That is the answer. So this number 1 is your homework. You can do it at home. This number 1 and number 3 are your homework, right? So 1 and 3 you can do them at home. So this is your homework. So let's do question number 4 now. So now we will do question number 4. Okay. So number 4 is, what is number 4 here? So let's do question number 4 now. It is x minus y whole square comma x plus y whole square. Here also you have to find out the mean proportional. Mean proportional means बीचको term चाहिँ निकाल्नु पर्यो. That is your second term. This is first term and third term are given. You have to find out the middle one. Okay, that is known as the mean proportional. So let us assume the mean proportional in this case also. Let the mean proportional be what? Let us assume it as A, because x and y are given out here. Okay, so let the mean proportional be A. So what can I write? Therefore x minus y whole square comma A comma x plus y whole square are in proportion. Right? That is, A is the middle one here, A is the second term out here, and this x minus y whole square and x plus y whole square are respectively the first and the third term. So x minus y whole square comma A comma x plus y whole square are in proportion. Okay, so what can you write from the definition of mean proportional? X minus y whole square is to A is equal to, now A is repeated again for the second ratio, A is to x plus y whole square. Is that clear now? So now let us simplify it. You can write it in terms of fraction. For the left hand side, x minus y whole square upon A is equal to, on the right hand side, A is in the numerator divided by what is there in the denominator? It is x plus y whole square. Is that clear to all of you? So now cross multiply. You can do cross multiplication. A into A is A square is equal to x minus y whole square into x plus y whole square. Is that clear? Now you have to get the square root on both the sides, or you can write here A square is equal to, within second bracket, since this is whole square, like if you have x square y square, if you get after simplification x square y square, what can you write? X into y whole square, isn't it? So similarly you can write here x minus y into x plus y second bracket closed whole square, right? So now let us simplify it. So, or if powers are equal, bases must be equal, isn't it? You know from laws of indices. In laws of indices, what do we know? If the powers are equal, bases must be equal. That means you don't have to write down those two powers on both LHS and RHS. That means what can you write? The bases are equal. That is, A is equal to x minus y into x plus y, right? Or A is equal to, you know this formula, A plus B into A minus B, which is equal to A square minus B square. So it is x square minus y square. So this is the answer. So what is the required mean proportional? Therefore, required mean proportional Therefore, required mean proportional is equal to, what is the answer? It is x square minus y square. So this is the answer for the fourth part. So is that clear to all of you? So number 1 and number 3, similarly you can do them. So you can copy it. We'll do the next question now. Now we will do question number 7, page number 88, right? Let us see by calculating the same exercise, that is 5.2. So it is given that if the first and second of the 5 numbers in continued proportion are 2 and 6 respectively, let us find the fifth numbers. Actually there are 5 numbers. Five numbers, first, second, third, fourth and fifth number. All these are in continued proportion, but only the first 2 terms are given. That is, first term is given as 2 and the second term is given as 6. You have to find out what? Fifth number, but not the third number and the fourth number. Third number and fourth numbers are not asked out here, but you have to find out the fifth number. 5 number चाहिँ तिमीले निकाल्नु पर्छ. ठीक छ? So let us write down. Therefore the numbers, which is the first number here? 2. Which is the second number? 6. And third number, suppose x. Fourth number y, and fifth number is z, are in what? They are in continued proportion. Are in continued proportion. So what do you mean by continued proportion now? What is meant by continued proportion? Okay, so therefore 2:6, let us write down first is to second, that is 2:6. Continued means you have to repeat the second number again for the next ratio, that is 6:x is equal to, again in the third ratio you have to repeat this x again, x:y is equal to, again for the fourth ratio you have to repeat y, that is y:z, right? If 2, 6, x, y, z are in continued proportion, then what can you write? 2:6 is equal to, again this second term is repeated, 6:x is equal, again this third term is repeated, x:y is equal, again this fourth term is repeated, that is y:z. So from here you have to get the fifth number. Which is the fifth number out here? That is z. You have to get the value for z, right? So ratio means you can write it in terms of fraction. 2/6 is equal to 6/x is equal to x/y is equal to y/z. Is that clear now? So now let us find out. The value for z. So you can equate first and second now. That is first and second. Now let us equate only first and second to get the value for x. Okay. So 2/6 is equal to what? 6/x. Let us do cross multiplication. 2x is equal to 36, or x is equal to, this is 36/2. What is x is equal to now? This is 18. Is that clear? So what is the value for x here? It is 18. Is that clear? So let us write again, therefore this second ratio is equal to third ratio now. That is 6/x is equal to x/y, right? Let us write this second ratio is equal to third ratio. That is 6/x is equal to x/y. Because in this case we know the value for x, isn't it? So, or this is 6/18 is equal to 18/y, right? So let us cross multiply again. 6y is equal to 18 multiplied by 18. Is that clear? That is 6y is equal to 18 multiplied by 18. So what is the value for y again? y is equal to 18 into 18 divided by 6. Is that clear? So now you can divide it. 6 1s are 6, 6 3s are 18. That means y is equal to 18 3s are what? 3 8s are 24, 4, 2. 3 1s are 3 plus 2 is 5. That is your 54. That is we have got the value for y. That is y is equal to 54. Right? So now we have to get the value for z. But you have to get the fifth number, isn't it? So which ratio will you write? That is third ratio is equal to fourth ratio. Okay? So let us write here. So again, that is which is the third ratio here? X upon y is equal to y upon z. Clear? X upon y is equal to y upon z. Okay? So what is the value for x here? 18. Divided, what is the value for y? Y is, just now we got it. 54 is equal to here. Y is 54. This divided by z. Okay? So now you can do cross multiplication again. So it is 18z is equal to 54 into 54. Right? Or what is the value for z now? 54 into 54 divided by 18. Right? The 18 and 54 are what times answer? 3 times answer. So there is 1 in the denominator. So what is 54 into 3? So or z is equal to, now multiply 54 by 3. 162 divided by 1. But if there is 1 in the denominator, you don't have to write it. So what is the value for z here? It is 3 4s are 2, 1, 5 3s are 15, plus 1 is 16. So z is equal to 162. So actually this z was assumed as the fifth number, isn't it? So you have to find out the fifth number. So what is the required fifth number out here? It is 162. Again, I will first my case of 2, 6, x, y, z. Z was the fifth number. So what is the value for z here? Z is equal to 162. So this is the required fifth number. So you can write required fifth number is equal to, what is the answer? It is 162. So I think you have understood it. So required fifth number, that is z is equal to 162. So this is the required fifth number for question number 7, which is equal to 162. So is that understood now? So this much is for today. So you revise all the problems that we did today and you do the homework I gave you. Okay? So thank you.